you're retired and you're 65, you might have arthritis, you probably won't be able to enjoy life to the fullest. The rich don't work for money, and again, you might be kind of confused, like, what are you talking about? How does that make sense? It has, like, I don't know how it works, but it just works. So if you follow me on my Instagram page, you know that I love this book. Right here, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I recommend this book to literally everyone. I believe that everyone should read this book at least once in their life, whether you're an adult, whether you're not an entrepreneur, whether you are an entrepreneur. I feel like this book is literally, like, this book will change your life. It 100% changed my life. It kind of changes your thinking about money. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about a few of the lessons that I learned from the man himself, Robert Kiyosaki. In this book, I strongly recommend you guys check this book out. And I'm not going to be, this isn't really a summary video, but this is kind of a video talking about what this book is kind of about. Again, I'm not going to be diving into the whole book, obviously. Just a few lessons that I've learned. And guys, this book is literally what? It's $8 US. So it's like $12 Canadian, guys. Go pick it up because it will 100% change your life. So let's get straight into why Rich Dad Poor Dad is the best book for finance, entrepreneurship, whatever it is, whoever you are, I believe you have to read this book. Let's get right into it. So the book Rich Dad Poor Dad is kind of how Robert Kiyosaki grew up with a rich dad and a poor dad. And this doesn't really mean that they were both, that one was rich and one was poor. They both made a lot of money, but one person, the rich dad, made money in a way that you probably don't know about, and the poor dad made money the typical way by trading time for money and working at a 9-to-5 job. And this book helped me realize that you don't really need to exchange time for money. And after I realized this simple fact, it completely changed my whole look on money. And I'm gonna explain to you what I exactly did after I read this book, and that will hopefully give you some real life examples. But let's get into lesson 1 from Rich Dad Poor Dad. So lesson 1 was kind of mind-blowing to me because, mind you, this was the first book I ever read in terms of business or finance or whatever it was. And before I read this book, I wasn't really an entrepreneur at all. I was just in high school actually, and from reading this book, it was kind of mind-blowing to me because it's kind of opened my eyes into seeing the whole entrepreneurship, business, investing type thing. So lesson 1 is actually, the rich don't work for money. And again, you might be kind of confused, like, what are you talking about? How does that make sense? Obviously, if you want to be rich, you need to be making $100 an hour or $150 an hour. That's what you need to do. Incorrect. And if you, again, you might be mind blown by this video and by this book, and I was 100% mind blown. So the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. And this is so simple once you understand it, and it's wow, how is this not something everyone is doing? So typically, how do you make money? You work at a job, whether you're a chiropractor, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a dentist, whether you work at McDonald's, whatever you do, right? You are working, you're clocking in hours, so every time you clock in and you clock out, you make money for that amount of time that you've worked, right? So let's just say you work 9 to 5 and per hour you make, let's just say $20. Every hour you work, you make $20. So you are working for money, right? But what if you were able to make money work for you? And this is actually possible. So let's just say, for example, you had $50 and you wanted your $50 to make money for you, right? You would put that money into a stock, maybe, and that stock will either go up or down in value, and that $50 is working for you. So let's just say you put $50 into a stock, and let's just say in 10 years or not even 10 years, let's just say in 10 months, that $50 turns into $70, right? And again, I'm not saying this is something that will guaranteed happen, but this is how money works for you. So in that 10 months, you just made $20 by having your money work for you. And guys, this is not the only way to make your money work for you guys. Let me actually show you a real life example of how I made $100 work for me and actually make an hourly minimum wage by just in a few minutes. So this is a great example of making money work for you, and I'm actually going to show you on my phone. I hope it gets in focus, but I don't know if you're able to see that, but you might be able to see the profit, and that's $11.45 US that I made. And how did I do this? Well, I put $100 into Forex, and this is a type of investing / trading, and I made my money work for me. I didn't exchange an hour to make that $11. I actually put in $100 and I made that $100 make an extra 11, and that will continue to grow exponentially. I don't want to get too into Forex, but that's how you make your money work for you. So another way is, let's just say you have $100,000 and you put it into real estate, and in a few years that $100,000 doubles. Again, that's making your money work for you. So there are many ways to make your money work for you. I know I talk about a few, or quite a few, on my Instagram page and my YouTube account. So again, make money work for you, don't work for money. So another lesson was that the rich kind of invent money. So, and this is actually something that I've incorporated, and it has, like, I don't know how it works, but it just works. So Robert Kiyosaki always talks about paying yourself first. And just before we start, I strongly recommend you guys pick this book up, because this book will go in detail. Amazing book. I do see myself reading this book again, maybe this year or maybe next year. I 100% want to read this again. But the rich invent money. So they always pay themselves first, and they don't save to invest. They actually invest and then they save. So invest your money before saving your money, and this kind of ties into, let's just say you have bills to pay. Robert Kiyosaki says, invest whatever money you have first, and even if you can't pay your bills, that's perfectly fine. Find ways to make money so then you can pay your bills. So how have I incorporated this? Well, I kind of have a notebook where I write down my goals, and I told myself that I'm going to make X amount of sales in whatever. I don't want to talk about that in this video, but X amount of sales for my Forex group chat, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just wrote it down, and every day I looked at it and I said, how am I going to do this? And somehow, I don't know how, I just managed to, in that time frame, I managed to actually do double than what I didn't know how I was going to do. So guys, kind of like, I can't really explain this in depth because I feel like that would be doing injustice to Robert Kiyosaki, but check this book out. But yeah, find ways to invent money. Kind of force yourself to make that money without trading in time for money, because guys, trust me, I know a lot of you guys watching this may be trading in time for money. You don't need to do that. Okay, this next lesson from Robert Kiyosaki is probably the lesson that is the most important, and he talks about assets and liabilities. So what is an asset and what is a liability? I might even do a complete video on this topic by itself because it's just so impactful, but let me just quickly run it down. An asset is something that actually makes money for you. So whether that be a rental property, whether that be a dividend stock, whatever that is. And again, if you guys don't know exactly what these things are, just comment below and I'll message you back and I'll let you know what exactly they are and point you in the right direction on how to learn about them. But whether that be Forex trading, whatever that is, assets make money for you. And liabilities, so a liability would be a video game console, let's see, a car, or whatever that is. Liabilities, they take money away from you, and they usually depreciate. So obviously when you buy the new iPhone, in 5 years, that iPhone's not going to be worth the same amount of money. That iPhone is actually taking away from your net worth and taking away from your bank account, right? So what does Robert Kiyosaki suggest? Well, he suggests that instead of buying the liabilities first, buy a bunch of assets. So let's say you want to buy a new car, right? Instead of going and buying that car, which is, let's just say for example, you want to buy a Tesla, right? Instead of buying that Tesla, buy a car that is not as expensive as a Tesla and rent it out. Rent that car out, whether that be on a Turo app or whatever that may be, or even like whatever that is. Rent that car out, and then while that car brings in money, use the money from that asset to then buy the liability. And again, this isn't to say just go out and buy a bunch of liabilities. Obviously, you have your own ways of spending money, but I hope you guys kind of understand that. Get assets to buy liabilities. So let's talk about another thing that you can do. Let's say you want to buy a new house, right? But at the moment, you can't really afford that beauty house that you want, that dream home. So what you do instead, buy a few rental properties, make them cash flow, and make them like bring in like some rent and get in some profits, whatever that may be, and then use that money. And obviously the houses are obviously going to appreciate in value. Hopefully long term they'll appreciate in value, and then you can sell those houses, use those and again, you don't always want to sell, but you can use that asset and you can use that cash flow to then buy that dream home that you always wanted to buy. So remember guys, the rich people, they buy assets first while the poor people buy liabilities first, and they just end up in a cycle. speaking of cycle, the huge thing I learned from Robert Kiyosaki is the rat race. The rat race and the rat race cycle is something that I didn't really take in and I didn't really understand completely until I read this book. So the typical rat race, this is what it is, right? You wake up at like 7 o'clock, whatever that may be, you get ready, you go to work at 9, you come back at 5, you come back home, you're tired, you don't really do anything, you kind of just waste time, you loafed around, whatever that may be, and you do that until you retire, until you're 65. So you work away for, I think, that's like 40 something years, 47 years, given that you complete school and whatever, and then you're retired and you're 65, you might have arthritis, you probably won't be able to enjoy life to the fullest, and guys, this is the rat race, right? Where you're just completely in that cycle of debt and you're just, boom, you're just completely working. You can't really do anything. Maybe you get a raise. Cool. What are you going to do after you get that raise? You're going to buy more liabilities. And then it just completely goes over and over and over again. So escaping the rat race. And I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but the Real Estate Rat Pack, they also do stuff similar to this. But how are you going to escape the rat race? Well, by buying assets that take over and allows you to work less and retiring early. And this also goes into FIRE, which is financial independence, retiring early. This is 100% possible. I know people that have retired in their 30s, in their late 20s. All you have to do is have assets. And this isn't by inheriting wealth from your parents. This isn't by working a job that pays $100 an hour. This is by having assets that allow you to work less so you can actually enjoy life. Here's another kind of lesson that is pretty interesting. And so Robert Kiyosaki says, everyone wants to beat McDonald's, right? McDonald's is quite clearly probably the biggest fast food company or corporation out there. And a lot of people kind of say, what is McDonald's business? And again, I did this too. You would probably say fast food. That's actually incorrect. McDonald's is actually the biggest real estate company, and they own so many franchises that their business is not based off selling their hamburgers. They might not even have the best hamburgers out there. It's because there's so many different locations that you're almost inclined to buy McDonald's or see McDonald's almost wherever you go. So he kind of talks about minding your own business, where there's so many people that want to make burgers better than McDonald's, and they want to make food better than McDonald's, but that's not really the case. That's not what they need to do. What they need to do is understand that McDonald's is not really a fast food company, but a real estate company, because they own so much real estate, and that's how they make their money. So he kind of says, mind your own business and just do your own thing. And this is, again, it works in different types of scenarios, obviously, but again, read this book and you completely understand exactly what he's talking about. So guys, I'm going to end the video right here because I don't want to go too in-depth on this book, because I think it's something that you should probably read and look at the examples by Robert Kiyosaki himself. He completely lays it out. He talks about his real-life examples. I kind of talked about my examples from reading this book. So if you guys want to get Rich Dad Poor Dad, I'll actually put a link down below where you can actually get Rich Dad Poor Dad. It is an Amazon affiliate link, so I do make a small amount of commission or whatever if you do use that link. But Rich Dad Poor Dad, guys, I strongly recommend it. This book 100% changed my life. Go pick it up, and if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, and tell me what type of videos you want to see in the future. I'm looking to add more real estate videos on my YouTube channel, and kind of throwing these type of videos, kind of sprinkling them here and there, but I do want to start making more real estate type videos. But again, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video ever again. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.